This is why you still feel empty inside. You scroll, you laugh at a reel, you switch apps, you check your messages, and yet, when all the noise quiets down, something inside you sinks. That subtle ache, that familiar hollowness that no achievement, relationship, or possession has been able to fill. You've tried everything. Self-help books, affirmations, vision boards, podcasts, journaling, gym memberships, therapy, friendships, even silent retreats. But still, there's this inexplicable emptiness that keeps echoing back. And if you're really honest with yourself, you've asked the question late at night or in a quiet moment, why do I still feel like something's missing? Here's the part no one tells you, because we live in a world that celebrates control, hustle, and self-sufficiency. The part that's not marketed to you in motivational speeches or on success-focused social media. The reason you feel empty is not because you lack something outside of you. It's because you've lost touch with something deeply within you. Or more accurately, someone. You weren't created to operate on your own energy. You weren't made to carry your purpose, your struggles, your desires, or your identity on your own. That ache you feel isn't a signal to hustle harder. It's a sacred reminder. You were made for a relationship with God. Not religion, not rituals, not performance. Relationship. And yet, for so many, that feels vague, maybe even frustrating. You've tried prayer before and felt nothing. You've walked into a church and walked out more confused. You've looked at people who talk about God and felt like they were in on some cosmic secret you've never been allowed to hear. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you paused not to perform prayer, but to receive God's love? Not to beg for something or check a spiritual box, but to experience what it means to be seen, known, and accepted exactly as you are? We live in a world that trains us to believe that love is conditional, earned, measured, filtered, that you're only as worthy as your last success, that rest is weakness, that if people saw who you really were, they'd walk away. So we filter not just our photos, but our hearts. We put on emotional makeup, hoping to cover up what we really feel, lonely, tired, unseen. And yet, God is the only one who can look at you without filters, without edits, and still say, I love you. Come to me, as you are. But we resist it, because God's love is disarming. It doesn't make sense. It isn't transactional. You don't earn it by being good. You don't lose it by failing. That kind of love terrifies the part of us that wants to stay in control. So we stay busy. We avoid silence, we numb, we distract, and in doing so we drift further from the very thing our soul craves. Relationship with the one who made you. The emptiness grows louder the more we silence the whispers of God. That persistent inner void isn't depression alone. It isn't just burnout. It isn't boredom. It's spiritual dehydration. A soul that's running on fumes because it hasn't connected to the source in far too long. And here's the irony. You could be surrounded by people scrolling through endless voices, collecting likes, messages, affirmations, and still feel unseen. Because only God's love can reach the parts of you that no one else even knows exist. Praying daily isn't about being spiritual enough. It's about surviving in a world that drains you. Imagine going a whole day without water. You'd feel weak, distracted, drained, parched. That's what happens to your soul when you go without connection to God. Prayer isn't a performance. It's a portal. It's where you lay your real thoughts down and receive real love back. It's where masks fall off, where healing begins. It's where identity is restored and the inner confusion starts to clear. Most people pray to get something. But when was the last time you prayed just to be with God? To sit in His presence without a script or agenda? That kind of prayer doesn't always feel electric at first, But something starts shifting, slowly, quietly, and then undeniably. You begin to notice that the very ache you once feared is now an invitation. The emptiness becomes sacred space, room for God to fill. Here's another truth that might unsettle you. No one and nothing can love you like God. That's not poetic. It's spiritual reality. People can love parts of you. But God, He loves you in full, flaws, failures, secrets, and all. And His love doesn't come to shame you into change. It comes to hold you while you heal, to walk with you when you stumble, to whisper truth when the world is loud with lies, but you have to slow down to receive it. Every day, God's love is available. Think about that. Love, patience, peace, mercy, waiting to be received, not earned. But you don't experience it by default. You receive it through intimacy, through prayer. Not forced words, not dramatic emotions, just honesty. God, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need you. That's a holy prayer. That's enough. And here's the wild part. When you start connecting with God daily, you don't just feel less empty, you feel anchored. Life doesn't suddenly become easy, but it becomes clear. You stop chasing things that never satisfy. You stop performing for a world that never applauds for long. You begin to move with quiet confidence because you know who walks with you. Your desires begin to align with peace instead of pressure, and most importantly, your soul exhales. People spend their entire lives trying to fill a space only God was meant to occupy. They chase jobs, relationships, substances, money, followers. But nothing fits, because it's not a material ache. It's spiritual. Your soul is crying out for something eternal. And until you listen, until you slow down, until you stop trying to fix the ache with more activity, you'll stay in the same cycle. Busy, tired, numb, aching. So this is why you still feel empty inside. You've been trying to feel whole without plugging into the source of wholeness. You've tried healing without the healer. Love without love himself. Purpose without the one who wrote your destiny. But the ache is not punishment. It's direction. It's holy dissatisfaction pointing you back home. And here's the best part. God isn't mad that you waited. He's not counting how long you ignored him. His arms have always been open. Right now. This very moment. No guilt trip, just invitation. This emptiness can end, not by escaping it, but by entering into it with God. Let him fill what nothing else could. Let his love rebuild you, not as the world wants you to be, but as he created you to be. There's more love waiting for you than you've ever dared to believe. But it won't be found in doing more. It begins the moment you let yourself receive. You may still feel empty inside because you're trying to fill your soul with things that were never meant to satisfy it. Achievements, distractions, and constant busyness can quiet the emptiness for a moment. But when you slow down, the hollow ache returns. This emptiness often points to a deeper need, a real daily connection with God's love, which alone can fill the places that feel unseen and unloved. God doesn't want you to live in a cycle of striving and emptiness. He invites you to experience his love personally, moment by moment. One practical step to begin addressing this emptiness is to commit to praying daily. Praying even in short whispers throughout your day creates space for God to pour his love into your heart. You don't need complicated words. Start your day with a simple prayer. God, I feel empty, and I need you to fill me with your love today. As you pray, pause and sit in quiet, letting your heart rest in his presence. You may not feel a sudden rush of emotion, but with daily prayer, your heart will begin to soften, and you will start to notice God's comforting presence in small, everyday moments. Journaling daily is another practical way to break the cycle of emptiness. Write down your honest thoughts and feelings before God, your fears, frustrations, gratitude, and desires. Then, Write down what you sense God is whispering back to you in those quiet moments. Journaling helps you process what you are carrying and opens your heart to receive God's truth about who you are, loved, seen, and valued, no matter how empty you feel. You can also take a few moments each evening to look back on your day and write down where you saw God's love or where you struggled to notice it. This reflection will help you stay aware of His presence and break the feeling of disconnection that fuels your emptiness. As you pray and journal daily, you will begin to experience the steady, quiet filling of your soul, realizing that God's love is not distant, but actively available, healing the empty spaces within you with His gentle, unchanging presence. So breathe, be still, speak to God like He's listening, because He is, even if you don't feel it yet, even if the words come out messy. That's the beginning. That's where the shift begins. And one day soon you'll look back and realize the ache is gone. Not because life is perfect, but because you are finally full. Thanks for watching. If this message spoke to your heart, subscribe for more ways to let God's timeless love echo through your life every day. Hit the bell so you never miss a moment of His presence, and share this with someone who needs to feel God's love today. See you in our other videos.